Hello, hi. I'm Rachel, your teacher, healer, and mystic. And whether you are watching me live or whether you're watching me in catch up, you're watching me at just the right time. So, hello. What I have planned to do is to do my Friday stuff at lunchtime because that's working for me better at the moment. Children with all the sorts of needs that mine have got, evenings have become quite fraught. So lunchtimes is going to be better for me at the moment. So I really hope you guys can either join me live at lunchtimes, or if you can't join me at lunchtime, let you catch up and, say hi, give a little shout out, all of that type of stuff. Because I always love hearing from you. Whether what I've said resonates at the time or whenever you've caught up on it, always love to hear about that. So this is Divine Channeled Message, which I'm going to be doing once a month, again, like I did previously. So this is where I reach out to the universe, up to the higher beings, not just anyone. We'd like to get some high-end wisdom coming in here. So I'm not going to be bringing messages through from loved ones or anything like that. What I'm looking to do here is to bring through messages from higher beings who have got some wisdom, some inspiration, some forward momentum, some news even about what's happening with us spiritually. And as you guys know, I'm an empath who likes to empower other empaths. So expect some of my work to come along on that vibration, on even things like the earth healing vibration, that type of thing, because that's where my passion lies, and that's who I want to help, the planet and us. Hello, Hallie. Us empaths who also want to help the planet and other mankind and all of that wonderful vibe. So hi. I think Emma's joined me. Jane has joined me. Hello. Oh, it's perfect time for you, Jane. Yes. Hey, Sabina. Hello. So I am literally going to, as you guys know who regularly watch this stuff, it's just as much a surprise for me as it is for you as to who I get through. I don't plan this. This is live channeling. Don't expect drama. That isn't me. I'm very grounded. I won't go into trance or anything like that. You will literally get what I get. And you'll notice that as I forge that connection, it becomes stronger. The words fall out of my mouth a lot quicker. So I'm just going to have a little feel around because I'm an empath and I feel my connection. Definitely somebody quite strongly on my right hand side, and there's something over there as well. Person sat to me on the left has got their arm on mine, so they're forging their connection. Okay, I'm not too sure who it is that I've got. Their energy is big and the energy is warm, which always says to me it's a higher being because they're actually putting energy into me. They don't need to draw on this space in order to create energy. It feels like a male figure. He doesn't feel European. And I'll be able to figure out where he's from in a second. He's definitely not European. What he's saying to me is, he introduced himself. Hello, I'm a higher being. That's what I was asking for. Thank you. And I have come here to forge a connection with you, to express myself. I would like to let you know that you have been brought here for great purpose. And that purpose is to communicate. If you do not communicate your being, and that feels like self, that's a word that he's using for self. If you do not communicate your being, you will never achieve your accomplishments. And your accomplishments are that of the heart. The heart brings to the mind what the mind cannot bring to the heart. Never forget. The two are forged in mastery to work as one. However, when we lose our heart, we also lose our mind. Our heart brings to mind many things of which we would rather forget. Pain and suffering. But these cherished moments remind you that you are human. They remind you that you feel, and they remind you that you cannot, the forged link cannot be lost. You have forged a link with this planet, and you are here to give yourself, not in its entirety, not to lay down and die. You are here to give what is true to you, and nothing more. And those truths are forged in wisdom. Pain is forged in wisdom. For if it did not feel like pain, it would feel like discord. Discord is when the heart and mind do not work together. Pain is when you feel that emotion and you understand it fully. The discord comes when we do not process. He's given me about 3 different words for one word: process, reiterate, and a word that I can only feel. The word that I can feel is one where it just feels like my heart's about to burst. Magnitude. He said the magnitude. When the magnitude is too much, we must talk. We must talk about the pain so that the others may hear our pain. When the others may hear our pain, we respond with love and grace. When we receive love and grace, the pain is transmuted. We transcend those human realms and are connected once more in the spirit. But we can only do that if we talk about our pain. We are taught to hold on to pain as though it is a prize. And instead, it obliterates our soul. It transforms our soul into something wicked and full of hate. When we talk about how we feel, what we find is that we are not alone. Judgment does not come from man or beast or fowl. It comes from fear. Fear of ourselves, fear of our emotions. When we talk, we find others who hear our call, and they step forward in sympathy, in collaboration, in empathy. And those things work together. Do not fear your pain, children. Only ever speak of it. For when you speak of it, it lessens. And each time you speak of it, it lessens more. But you can only do that if you reach out. Internalization will only work for those of us who are internal. You are not internal beings. You are outward beings who thrive on community and love and laughter. Reach out to those with whom you have forged your bonds. Bonds that are forged not in friendship, but in apathy, were never there in the first place. Do not mourn them. Simply let them go and find the threads of another. When you find and forge with those who you know to be in your heart, you will always be there for each other. Nothing will ever be allowed to be let go, only transmuted and changed and reformed. And once you change and reform in your heart, that which you know in your mind becomes true. That which we know in our mind and we do not change in our heart, we do not ever truly know. For our soul lies in our tummy. And how can you stomach what your heart cannot transmute? Your connection to your soul is always via your heart, never your mind. Do not overthink, children. Thinking is where the apathy often lies. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Should I say yes or should I say no? Once you truly know yourself, and if you truly know yourself, what you will find is that the apathy is in fact empathy, and you can move forward and act and be. If you do not know yourself, you will struggle. To know yourself is the be all and end all. So know yourself. Speak your truths. Transmute the pain of yourself, the pain of that self-understanding. Never let yourself go. Just seek to understand yourself more. The more you understand yourself, the more that you have of yourself to give. You are brighter, you are more vivid. Your colours change and the world can see them afresh and anew. Like a peacock on a transplendent podium. And I feel myself like he's put me on that podium, and I feel like I have bright, hot pink tail feathers. Bright hot pink. Never let yourself go, child, for you are more than just the sum of your total. You are all beings, and all beings are you. And once we remember this connection, everything will be right. But you must know thyself first. Know thyself. Don't seek the truth and it feels external when you do not know the truth. This is the only truth that matters. If you think the answers lie beyond, you are lost. The only way forward is within yourself. Goodbye, my friends. Hi, Valerie. That person, I'm not too sure who he was. He'd never introduced himself. I don't think he particularly came through for introduction. Certainly, like either like Mediterranean's not right. I would think like Middle Eastern energy to him, that area. I'm not going to get the nation right because I don't think the nation exists anymore where he's from. But the last life he lived was, I would feeling is a few hundred years ago. It's quite a nomadic feeling to him. But yeah, he didn't want to introduce himself. He's just come here for the message, for nothing else, not for validation, if that makes sense, not for recognition. That was nice. I really liked that. And I really liked how he made me feel as well. That was amazing. So I'm sorry that I can't tell you to go away and connect into him. All that I can give you guidance on is that connection into him, not into him, into his words, about knowing yourself. Once you know yourself, that is the way forward. And to talk about yourself, to talk about your pain, because it will draw the right people forward. The wrong people who don't want to be there for you will turn away from your pain because they will struggle to understand it. You need others to step forward who are like you. And this is a really big thing for empaths is if you're a sensitive and you're an empath, is to make sure that you've got the right tribe around you. They tend to be full of other empaths. And it's that thing where we gather together, we provide each other with strength and companionship. We can help elevate each other and raise each other up. And the more of those people that you have in your life, the easier you're going to find it. Like you don't need to kind of worry about it too much. You know what I mean? Like worry, have I got the right person? Is this person an empath? You'll feel it. And you'll know when you talk about your life experiences that it will draw the right people close, and that real validation there. Don't overthink it. Talk about your pain. Don't hold on to it, because it will not just help you in talking about your pain, you help others. You allow others to speak. And that's the big message of an empowered empath, is that ability to talk, to communicate your truth, because the more that we talk, the more that we make acceptable to talk about emotions and to talk about things which society deems to be unacceptable or taboo, the more we overcome that. And the more we can move forward as a species. Thank you, Ali. Thank you. It was amazing. It was amazing. I just love it when I get these connections. I've got somebody else with me who, it wasn't as close as this other gentleman, stood in my wall, of course. And I'm just trying to figure out who they are. There's quite a has anyone been to places like Notre Dame and seen like the proper Gothic architecture in any of the old cathedrals in the UK, like the proper old cathedrals? Around the Gothic architecture are gargoyles, and they're not demons, they're protective symbols. They're beings who can stare into the ugliness and who can transmute it and who aren't scared of it and can almost step into it without being seen, step into that and transmute it from within, without looking out of place, without any of that. And I have a gargoyle who works with me every so often, and he's the one who stood in my wall, which I think is him trying to be funny. And give me a clue as to who it is. So it's the gargoyle that I work with on a regular basis. He's huge. He's a really big energy. Valerie, you've been there. So they're these wonderful protective symbols. They're very, very old energies. Very, very old energies. You're looking at Mesopotamian, Babylonian type energies, who. They're protective. They help us face our fears. And when we talk about protection, we're not talking about being shielded from the rubbish. We're talking about that ability to transmute the rubbish, and to not allow the rubbish to sort of stifle us, that type of thing. Okay. My Instagram might cut out, so if it does, I'm really, really sorry, guys. If it does, I am sorry. I will get on to what my gargoyle has to say. Interesting. Ancient wisdom brings ancient foes. Never fear the dark, for the light is always within. Whenever you face your fears, you face your old enemies. Parts of yourself that you would rather forget, people who brought fear and dimension into your life. But if it isn't the right word, I haven't picked up the right word there. Feels like he's trying to say like somebody who would torment you. When you look beyond the ether, what you find is that there is nothing. You find that there is nothing, for all reality is created from this plane. You are humans who experience the physical realms, something which creatures such as I can never do. We are here to guide you and help you, but never forget, you are the ones living. You are the ones going through these circles and cycles. And you are the ones who will someday inherit the earth. You will inherit the earth once all ill has been fought and all heart has been won. So you must remember to keep your heart at the front at all times. Fear is not a dirty word. It is not something to be circumvented or ignored, or to pretend that it does not exist. I'm just going to see if I can get back into my Instagram 1 second. Okay, my Instagram's back on, I think. What you'll find is that fears have a way of resurfacing. You're a big girl now. It is time to face your fears. Those fears from childhood and adolescence, which you would rather not deal with, are the ones that will come to you when you're ready to face them. So face them head on. Face them with friends in your hands. Face them with courage in your heart. Face them with fear stuck under your nails. Just face them, knowing that we have your back. We can do nothing but guide you because you are the ones living this life. You will never deal with it wrong. You will never express yourself incorrectly. You will never make the wrong move. So why do you always second chance yourself, second guess yourself? Why are you always worrying about what you are doing? Just do. Do what you think is right in that moment and nothing more. For nothing more exists apart from that moment. The reality that is constructed around you is not one which is existent. It does not exist. It is something which you perceive in this moment. And as you perceive it, it happens and is real. What you imagine is real. You are the creators. You are the makers. You are the creators of the heavens and the earth and all that is in between. Never forget your place in the universe. When you came here with a mission to be. So be. Thoughts and images create realities. So create the reality that you want. The past is often forged in fear. And we forget the good times. We forget the joy and the laughter. There is so much to hold on to that is not fear. When did you stop remembering the joy? When did you stop remembering your passions? When did you turn away from the light? For the light is love. If you cannot see the love in your life, then turn the light on. You just need to view it from a different perspective. That we can help you with. That we can help you see differently. That will give you courage and that will give you strength when the night feels darkest, is remembering the joy and remembering the love. Because that is the reality. That is all that really exists. That heart center. Your heart is the center of the universe. There is much ill to be done, but there is also much good. The more you focus on being the good, the less the ill can be seen. So step into that. Step into that presence. Step into that being. Step into being everything. For the more you do, the more you act, the more you be, the less the others will become. As they lessen, you grow. Do not stand back in fear. Step forward in courage. Step forward in confidence. Step forward in camaraderie. Step forward in love. Be seen, be heard, be understood. For without you, there is nothing. The realms do not exist unless there is the temper. You are the temperance. You are above and you are below, and you recognize all things. And recognizing all things, you recognize yourself. You recognize your place within the universe. You are the key points. You are the anchors. Bring the others up, and the rest will be eradicated. Focus on the joy, not the fear. Focus on being. Focus on doing. Not on feeling disabled. Not on feeling suppressed. Not on feeling overwhelmed. Not on feeling... a lot of this is me trying to find words for what I feel compressed. Like I feel like my bones are compressed. And I'm kind of like being compressed in on myself. This is not the feeling that you want to project. The feeling you want to project is one of love and abundance. For that is all things. The more you be, the more you do, the more you act, the more the others will come. Without you, the others may not step forward, and you must be there for them. So show yourself, boys and girls, show yourselves for who you are. For you are the anchor pins of the universe, and without you, nothing else exists. Your heart is the key. Your emotions are the heart. Cry and bleed and lay in the dust, and then pick yourself up again and laugh in the rain. The dewdrops sing your name. I will come again. He hasn't quite gone. He's still hanging around on my wall, but that was him signing off. he's really cool. I'm really glad that he's back. I haven't seen him for a while. He's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal, like, confidence, joyous energy, which really, like, doesn't care. Oh, this looks scary, let's get stuck in. He's got that energy about him. Gargoyles are a really interesting energy to work with. And what I would always say is, if you're doing any sort of personal work and you feel something and you're like, oh my God, it's a Catholic version of a demon, check yourself for the archetypal Christian rhetoric that you're still holding on to, and go, okay, that shit doesn't exist in the way that I think it does. That is something which has been perpetuated as part of a marketing plan, very old marketing plan. Our demons are our demons. Our fears are our fears. They're things that we have to heal within ourselves. So when we look at something within meditation, or we pick up on something that's ugly or appears ugly to us, we need to examine why it appears to be ugly, or why we appear afraid of that ugliness. If we're empaths, we should be able to see past the ugliness and feel into that energy. It's that thing where, you know, would you not be friends with somebody for the way that they looked, or would you not date somebody for the way that they looked? I think a lot of us who are out there, you know, you can see easily past the superficial. You can easily see past that. So do that with your healing. Why do you appear to me that way? Is this often I get it as a block. There's a protective mechanism within me which is psychologically going, oh no, this way of being has served you for a really long time, and if we get rid of this protective mechanism, then it's gonna change the way that we do stuff. And this has been working for a really long time. Like, this protective mechanism works, and obviously it's time to face the fact that that protective mechanism isn't serving you at the moment. And so your brain will bring up a whole load of fear-based stuff in order to stop you doing the healing work that you're doing. Additionally, it might be that you've got a being like a gargoyle who is there actually as a protector. And don't forget, you're in charge. Whenever you do any sort of spiritual work, any personal meditation, you are in charge. So when you talk to these beings, they have no choice but to answer you with truth. The only doubt that comes in is from you. So, you know, if you're like, what are you here for? Are you something that needs to be transmuted? Are you here to help me? You know, who are you? What's your name? Feel into the energy. If it feels joyous and happy and just like a bit of a crusty old weird look from the outside, then you know where that's going to be. If it's something that needs moving on, then, you know, you can move that on. If you need help, you need help. But you know, calling some higher beings to help move anything on that you feel needs moving on. But what's happened is that there are many beings out there like that who were trapped by the church over years because they appear to be demonic. And we all know that St. Patrick got rid of all of the snakes, the demons from Ireland, and that would have been trapping beings like that. So that's worth being aware of when you come to working or picking up on different energies. Who are they really? What are they really? How do they actually come across energetically? Gargoyles are really wonderful beings. Like I said, that joy-based, not afraid of anything, that stuff that we all sometimes need from time to time. Nikki said, seeing into the heart of things. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot through both of those messages about speaking, about being heard, about being seen. This is when we get these messages and there's threads through them that resonate with each other. This is for us to pick up on. This is a time for us to be heard, a time for us to be seen, a time for us to speak up. We're the balance bringers. The reason why I do the Galilean healing and I teach Galilean healing and I work with it is because it's heart-centered. The chakras are not numbered 1 to 7. The chakras resonate around a center, and that center is our heart. Our heart center is both human and spirit. It's that perfect blend. And those of us that have got that real connection into the heart and the heart of others are the ones that really need to get people to see both sides, both the spiritual side. There are people who are too grounded and they can't see the spiritual side. There are people who are too spiritual and they cannot see the human side. They cannot see that we need to act and do and be and not worry about fear-based stuff and not keep on going, yeah, but, you know, all these invented baddies that are out there. Okay, yeah, there is a lot of shit in the world. There is also a lot of good. And we only increase that good by doing good, by putting good out there. The more we focus on the good, the more we're going to create it. The more we focus on fear-based stuff, the more we're going to create more fear-based stuff. That doesn't mean that there isn't crap there. That doesn't mean we're not grounded into reality and we don't see it. It means that we transmute that. And the way that we transmute that is by doing, is by volunteering, is by talking about how we feel about things, sharing articles, talking to friends, getting involved in, there might be a friend who's saying something about somebody else. And normally as an empath, you might go, okay, I'll try and be a bit balanced, but if they're not going to listen to me, then I'm not going to push it. This is your time. Your judgment and your way of looking is completely different to many other people's way of looking at the world, and it's your insight which is really, really important. That's how we bring the balance, is just by acting and doing. And it will happen all the time. You will get these opportunities. They're not always easy to deal with, don't get me wrong, because a lot of people still react from a very protective space where they're in quite a defensive mode about everything. So trying to get people to look at stuff from a different perspective isn't always easy, but the more you do it, the easier it will come. Take the opportunities that the universe present to you. Yeah, Valerie said, so true, plain speaking. Just, it's, we think love is fluff. Heart, both of them have just said, the heart is the center of everything, but the heart is both human and spiritual. It's both of those things. And they talking about pain being in your heart and talking about that pain, and being able to transmute it only by having those conversations and bringing others forward so you can heal together, so you can move forward together. Understanding that you're not the only one, and if you're feeling like this, guaranteeing that other people are out there feeling like this, unless you talk about that, you're not going to bring those people forward. You're not going to change other people's mind about stigma that's attached to really stupid things, because we've still got this mental thinking attachment to rules. We've still got this thinking attachment to rules, and rules don't exist. Rules don't exist. We know this. Steph said, just been there and done that touches her own. Yeah, absolutely. This is what the shift that a lot of empaths are going through. So if you're kind of feeling like everything's been quite difficult for the last few months, it has. You're shifting so much shit, because now it's time for you to be seen. It's time for you to speak. It's time for you to be heard. It's time for you to be listened to. And we're not used to that. Like, humans group themselves in passive or dominant on like a really instinctual basis. Empaths are neither. An empowered empath is neither of those things. So understand that you come with a different viewpoint, and that your viewpoint's needed in humanity at the moment. The more you talk about getting other people to see a different perspective, the more you do, the more you volunteer, the more you share articles, the more you talk about the things that are in your life. The things that are in your life are the things that that are there to champion you. I've always had a natural passion, and I think many empaths have, and I'm sure you guys watching this would have had the natural passion for the underdog. So whatever it is that is the underdog in your life, be there, be them for them. Yeah, because that's the only way that we're gonna readdress the balance in humanity. So yes, I am done. I only want to do a half hour or so. So next Friday, the last Friday of the month, I'm going to start my new healing, empath. You can tell I need to ground out, my new empath training tips for empaths. That's not what it's going to be called. I don't know. They'll probably give me the title over the next couple of days, but it's empowered empath training. Oh, apparently that's really boring. Empowered empath training. So, what I'll be looking to do is the last Friday every month is just going through hopefully 15-20 minutes. We know that I like to talk, where I will give you tips about how to become an empowered empath, how to step into your energy. Starting off with what is an empath, how to identify as an empath, what does it mean, all of that stuff. And then I'm going to be giving you lived, real experienced advice. This is coming from somebody who is an empath who's had to empower themselves because I just have found no other way of living. Those that need to be heard and to be seen and not to be sort of stomped down has always been really strong in me. And for me, that's an area of passion for myself, and it's an area of passion for other people out there like me. So I just want to make everyone's lives a little bit easier. So yeah, you might join me weekly, you might end up doing a whole load and catch up. But I just want to give you stuff, give you guys my real lived experience of stuff that works psychologically because it's grounded, stuff that works energetically because I've got a lot of experience as a healer and as a teacher and as an energy being and as a channeler and all of that stuff, as well as somebody who reads. Like I copiously read. So some of the old scriptures, and I'm talking about stuff like stuff written by the Vedics, the sutras. That's the sort of stuff that we need to go back to really understand the basics of it. Once you understand the basics, then everything else just kind of slots into place. So I will give you all of my lived experience coming from what I hope you'll find a realistic and grounded perspective. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Valerie. Yes, the truth. Okay, my lovelies, I'm going to go. I'm going to have a cup of tea, and I will catch up with you all next Friday if you're around for the start of my empowered empath training. Not inspiring, but hey ho, that's the way it goes. I'll do what I'm told. See you later.